I think we need like a little sound, like a ping that goes Segway, and then we should just talk about something else.
Okay.
I think as soon as we get on a topic for longer than 10 minutes, we should do that.
Excellent.
Have you ever driven a Segway? Those things are fun.
Dude, let's talk about Segways.
Welcome to the Forum Threat Podcast, number 57. I'm your host, Dark One Dre, and here with me today, I've got Mr. Fusion.
Good evening.
Ms. Ray.
Hello.
tgjanlee. Just barely.
Maybe.
Chaos Mana.
Hello.
Zap45.
Hello, hello, hello.
And Terry Firestorm.
Evening all.
And
Last name Firestorm, first name Terry.
I would like to announce that this is our first video podcast with we have Ray in the top left of our stream and Zach in the top right.
Eating ice cream cake. What are
Can you
eating?
actually see them in the Twitch stream?
Yes, you can. They're really tiny windows, but you can see them.
Oh, awesome. I might have to, next time, put some clothes on and be in the stream, too, so I don't be all left out. I like this idea. It's like we're joining the future.
Exactly. We're moving forward and podcasting while eating. It's important.
And in this podcast, we tackle the hard questions in life, like this one that we just got asked a little while ago by Mr. Fusion on this list he's reading. How does one go about removing spaghetti stains from their underwear?
That's a very good
These
question.
are the problems that we need to solve.
Yes.
Are we gonna go through the panel? Everybody puts up their answer.
Not really, unless you're entertaining.
Well, I suggest we burn the pants because they're no good.
That's what I would do to
Most
spaghetti
certainly.
pants. Right?
Yeah.
Burn the pants. I got a chili stain on my T-shirt the other
TJ,
day, and it was like my favorite
what
T-shirt.
What about those people affected in states that are currently covered by a burn ban?
A what?
A
A burn ban from the drought. You know, you can't set anything on fire because, you know...
Oh,
all
then
houses
you find a bunch of moths and you feed it to them. I think that's your only other solution.
Because that would get rid of it in a fast manner, yes, certainly. Oh, you're crazy, TJ.
And I'm a little bit scared by this.
Are we having
It's-
technical difficulties?
No.
Wait,
No, I think everyone
No.
didn't know how to answer that question.
yeah. So we're just gonna move on to what I really want to talk about right now. Has anybody heard about what the budget for Bungie's Destiny project is now at?
I know.
9,000?
$500 million.
Yes, you get a prize, Zap. Here, just imagine I'm handing you a
Hey, I'm
Really?
back.
$500 million for that game?
$500 million from Activision.
Wow.
Nonetheless, and that's what's got me worried because it's fucking Activision and they like to fuck shit up. Like, I'm
That's
hoping
insane.
Bungie takes their money and runs with it, and Activision just
Well, but I
smart enough.
don't think
do their
Bungie
thing.
would mess up something like that.
Bungie wouldn't, but Activision sure as hell would.
Now my
Well,
question
how much
to you guys...
say did they get it in it?
What?
How much of a say does Activision get in the development now?
Well, they're like executive producers at this point.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So yeah, they have a pretty big say in the matter, especially since it's their money. You know, the person that donates the money has a say in it.
But what they're hedging the bet on of the history of Halo with Bungie. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Is they're okay. My question, because I saw this a while back that it was a huge budget, but my question is, I don't know if anyone knows this, is $500 million the estimated total budget, like including marketing, or is that just
Yes.
for production?
No, that's
just for
total
production.
budget.
What?
No.
Because-
it's total.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking, because in movies,
I think.
whenever you see a budget listing, you always double that because they always spend as much as they spent on production in marketing. So if Spider-Man costs $300 million to make, the budget overall is actually $600 million because they spent an additional twice that amount in marketing. Does that make sense? That's why I was kind of asking, because if this is including, then okay, I can understand that, because they're just based, like I said, they're hedging their bets that they're going to get, they're going to break the 500 million mark the first week. That's probably what they're thinking. If not what was the number on Grand Theft Auto 5? Was it 50 million the first day?
Oh, it was some ungodly amount. Okay. I don't remember.
It was a pretty large amount.
Okay. But that's ridiculous for a video game, man.
I honestly, if it looks like the video game put forth, like if the developers are actually putting that money towards the game and value-wise, in replayability, I don't give a fuck how much it costs to make. I'll still buy it.
Yeah, no, what I'm seeing here, just to clarify, is the 500 million is in development and in promotion.
Okay, so it's total. It's the complete budget. Okay, that's
so. Is
all
the
right.
real budget only 250 then?
I mean, I'm not saying that's 100% the exact amount, but that's kind of when working on a few films, like when I worked on The Ringer and The Alamo, The Ringer was $300 million. $3 million budget, but the total overall budget, while we were doing it, was set at $6 million because they were putting another $3 million in advertising, marketing. So,
exactly.
And that's where I've just heard that a few times over the years. I've heard that's whenever you see like on Wikipedia budget, that you just double that because that's the total actual amount. So, but that's still $500 million total is a lot, man.
Yeah,
but considering what they're trying to do with the game, I can kind of understand why it would take so much. I'm not sure how much you guys actually know about it so far. I did a little bit of digging into it after I found out how much they were going to spend on it. That this is actually part of a 10-year publishing deal that they have. So this video game is supposed to like stretch out and adapt. It's an MMO type game, but it's supposed to adapt and continue to expand itself as you play it over a period of 10 years.
Much like a WoW version for the consoles, or a sci-fi console-esque MMO.
Yeah, but I believe it's supposed to work on a slightly different scale than WoW does. Because WoW, even though it's massive multiplayer, it's not really a dynamic experience for each person, and that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to, how Bungie calls it, Destiny will be alive, they say.
Alive.
So stuff is supposed to happen in the game that is not necessarily planned out by or controlled by the developer. They're just kind of.
So there's that amount. Just
that doesn't
I have
sound.
no idea. I honestly have no idea how that's supposed to work, but if they manage to pull it off, where you have a game that reacts to the players, whether or not you have direct control over it, that could be disastrous in a lot of ways, but it could be really interesting, or maybe an interesting disaster, kind of like this podcast.
Yay!
Were you just showing everybody your balls?
Yes.
I think that's what I saw.
An explicit.
I gotta know, guys.
Explicit tag.
Come on.
Suddenly an X-rated podcast.
I know, right?
It was always an X-rated podcast.
Yeah,
It's a child-friendly X-rated podcast.
What?
Never before with live nudity, though.
Is that going to be another one of our taglines?
No. The only tagline I'm interested in is the one I tweeted earlier today. Fucking Dinobots. I actually saw the new Transformers trailer for the first time this morning, and I'm like, holy shit, a robotic Tyrannosaurus that gets his face bashed in by Optimus Prime. I'm so happy right now.
What if it ends up being the worst movie ever?
I don't care. I'm gonna go
the
watch
action
this.
will overpower.
Doesn't care. It's fucking
it could.
Dinobots.
Yeah, it could literally be the worst movie ever made, but as long as it's got robot dinosaurs, I'm
Okay, I do have a complaint though, as a longtime Transformers fan since day one. Strafe
That it looked like
Strafe-
Grimlock.
No, I'm pissed that they didn't call the Pteranodon Swoop, because that in overall continuity of every single iteration of Transformers, the fucking Pteranodon, his name is Swoop, and they call him Strafe in this movie. I don't know why Michael Bay has to fuck with people every single movie.
I can understand that.
Every
Swoop is
fucking
a
movie
really
he does this.
stupid name.
I don't know if you guys remember this. Okay, like I'm the old guy in the group, but you
Yo,
all know
fogey.
who. But when I say Devastator, you all know who Devastator is, right?
No, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, of
I
course.
don't
I
know
did.
what you're talking about. You're just crazy.
Is he the big fat one?
Okay. Well, anyway, did you know that in the first Michael Bay movie in '06, there was a character named Devastator, which it was the truck, the military truck that he gets into a fight with Optimus on the highway, and Optimus whips his ass. That one was billed, was the cast listing. The name was Devastator, and he just wants to fuck with the fans. That's his whole deal, And then the next movie, he creates a proper Devastator or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what this guy's deal is. Anyway, Strafe is a airplane Autobot in the comic book and in the TV show. So the fact that he called Swoop Strafe just pissed me the fuck off. And it pissed off Webway, by the way, too. He was pissed.
I can kind of relate to that though, because Swoop is a really stupid name. Sorry.
Why isn't Megatron a giant T-Rex in the movies?
I don't know. He was.
That's another good
made
question.
A great T-Rex in the Beast Wars series.
Yeah,
the way he,
I know, right?
And like his arm would even when he was transformed into his robot mode, his arm would still have the T-Rex head on it. And he'd sit there petting the T-Rex head. Yeah, it had the gun inside of it. So he's got this T-Rex head on his arm that he pets like a cat, like doing the villain pet the cat thing. Only he's petting a T-Rex hand, and it's a fucking like beam rifle whenever it opens its mouth. I mean, yeah, if Michael Bay could put that into a movie, I would probably jizz myself. It
That'd
would
be
just
awesome.
be
There's
amazing.
the chance, fucking Dinobots.
If he did, if I go see this movie and that's in there, I'll be done. Like there's nothing else I could like live for. That would be the ultimate experience.
So would these be your signing off podcast just because?
Be like, yeah, sorry, I'm done with life. I've seen everything. I saw Megatron with a T-Rex for a hand with a laser beam inside of it, and he was petting it like a cat. I'm done.
That was
Life is complete.
by far my favorite series.
Yeah, that was that one and the one right after with their favorite Transformers series. Yeah, the Beast Wars, and then the one right after it, the Beast Machines, when they
Beast
go back.
Machines. Oh my god, that show was terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It was just a drastic alteration from the typical Transformers line and setup and all that. But I liked it for what it was.
It looked better.
It was all
It just
crap.
really pretty.
What was the premise? Like they went home, and then the entire world was just like destroyed. Right? Everything was like simple machinery. There's no more sentient robots.
They went home, and yeah, that was one of the problems that they had because they had a limited budget and they couldn't have a world completely populated with robots. So they did, yeah. It was one of those stupid ass things that they did because at the end of Beast Wars, you see Megatron strapped to the outside of the ship when they warp through time to go back to Cybertron, and somehow he manages to get himself off the ship, and then he does what he's always takes over Cybertron. Are you taking a selfie of yourself, Zap?
What?
Wow.
No, I'm not doing anything.
He's showing us how his phone transforms.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah, here's
right.
the front, and here's the back.
Exactly. Hey,
What does it
I
transform
was just-
into besides a front?
A porn machine.
Oh, a porn machine. There.
Everyone
Yeah,
needs one of those.
Definitely. It quells the homicidal rage I have.
Okay.
That's a huge leap. I have homicidal tendencies.
So it
As long
looks
as I
like
have my
there
porn
are
transformer,
1, 2, 3,
I'm
4,
okay.
5, 7 Dinobots in this movie. Wow.
Really?
Really?
There's Grimlock, of course. There's Slug, Slog, Snarl.
Slug and
slug.
Okay, I can
Is
tell
it
you,
7
Slug
sleepy,
and Snarl
sneezy,
are actual Dinobots
maybe.
from the series. Slog is a new one. They don't have
He didn't
Slag.
change their names?
No.
Rousey.
Scorn and Slash. That's all of them.
What's up with all the S names?
I don't know. That's
Why
just
not,
Michael Bay's just a lazy
Sounds
fuckwad. It looks like Megatron's not coming back, but it is Galvatron, which I actually am interested to see how they do this. Apparently, Galvatron is a human-made Transformer.
What?
That's cool.
I don't know if you watch the first trailer. Basically, after the Battle of Chicago, the Transformers were pretty much just hunted down by, all humans, like every single military body. So they're in hiding, and so that's where I think it's 4 years later. So, but anyway, Galvatron's the main villain, so I'm looking forward to that.
To be fair, my knowledge base on Transformers is very small. I'm not gonna lie. I know Optimus, I know Megatron, and then I know Beast Wars, and then I watched a few of the cartoons, Starscream. I know the main core group of the Transformers. So I guess that I'm not too upset if certain characters' names are changed and stuff like that. If it were something that I cared about.
In all honesty, I really don't give a fuck. I mean, for me, over the years, just
stop making out with your headphones.
Transformers canon isn't like an exact science anymore. There wasn't no straight line now because they've every single time there's a new comic line or a new series or a TV show or cartoon, they've just have totally just gone bonkers with it. So I'm just like whatever.
Yeah.
Good shot.
That makes sense. I think it just got more ridiculous as time passed, and there's even some cartoons that completely restarted and took a new way about it when it comes to the storyline and everything. So it's really hard to stay focused, I guess.
Yeah, as long as we have Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime, I'm okay. That's
really what counts.
He is the standard. When you think of Transformers, you think of Optimus Prime, and you think of Peter Cullen as the
Optimus Primal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think of Optimus Primal, because I got started and interested in Transformers because of the Beast Machines, Beast Wars, and then I kind of found everything else after that. So I kind of went backwards. So I actually got used to the newer iterations first, and then the older ones just seem kind of foreign and odd to me. Like I can appreciate them for the time frame that they came out with, and can kind of I can't really see them. Yeah, I can't see them with the nostalgia goggles, but I can still appreciate them because they're a hell of a lot better than a lot of the other stuff out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't have that same investment with those characters as I do with the later iterations.
Yeah.
It's just kind of neat the way that works.
Anyone hear about that?
About what?
Segue.
Anyone hear about that new spin-off for Harry Potter? The new spin-off of the Harry Potter movie?
What?
Go on.
What is that one?
It's not gonna be based off of Harry Potter himself, but it's gonna be the universe. So we might see some different characters.
Is it still by the author?
I think so.
She endorses it.
Ah, okay. So it's considered canon then.
It's fan fiction then. It's fan fiction that she's endorsing because she's not the one who's writing it.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is going to be interesting.
I think so.
It's going to be a trilogy. Except part 3 will be split into 2 pieces, so it'll be a quadrilogy. Is that what a 4-parter is called?
And she's going to be executive producer.
Normally called a series, or
unless no, because if you try and if you buy the Alien series from the store, they will call it a quadrilogy. Or something.
Interesting.
I only know this because I had to stock the shelves at Best Buy when I worked there, and they would have sell all 4 movies together in a package. And the Alien quadrilogy. I'm like, that's a word? When did that become a word?
When did that become a word?
And I couldn't find it. I tried spelling it in my phone, and autocorrect said I was wrong. But obviously, it's there on the movie case. So it's apparent. One of us is wrong. So I'm not going to argue with Hollywood. Obviously, Hollywood is right.
So she's writing the screenplay for all 3 films, and they're under Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That's the series.
You have our own personal Google Doc. Thank you, Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, no, that's just,
honestly, I like the universe enough to go back if there were some movies made or books or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it. I thought the Harry Potter movies were good. I wasn't emotionally invested in them, particularly for any.
Did you ever consider reading the books?
Like
I have considered
I
reading
read
the
each
books,
book before
but
seeing each movie.
did not.
So it made it a little bit different. It was like, oh, that's funny to see what their interpretation of what that looked like would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I by no means think the Harry Potter movies were bad anyway. I think they're all... I watched them all and wanted to watch them all because they're all really good. But as far as wanting to watch another storyline take place in it, I'm not particularly interested. I could be eating these words later once the movie comes out, but as of right now... Are you
going to end up seeing it?
I probably will if someone else wants to go see it with me. It's not something that I'll go see a lot of movies by myself, but it's not one of those movies that I would go to the theater by myself.
I'll go and see it with you.
Okay, good. See, I'll go see it then because tgjanlee is gonna.
I'll come down to NC. We'll take a look at those movies.
Kick it old school.
We'll go get sushi.
What is kicking it old school these days? What do you do to kick it old school?
Turn on a NES.
Turn on a NES.
I'm
you
sure
call it a NES. That's kind of weird.
Can elaborate more on kicking it old school.
Yeah, it involves laying down fresh beats.
Speaking of old school, tgjanlee,
chillaxing.
I have to ask you. I know you started doing the Let's Play Rayman. Now, you inspired me and my sister, because we used to play that game constantly. So we downloaded it, and we started playing it. And we realized that all of our nostalgic memories of that were dashed to pieces.
Dude, it's fucking hard.
It's unforgivably hard, and we used to be so good at it. I was wondering if you had the same problem we did.
I had in the video, you see me die probably about 25 times, and I'm getting progressively angrier as it goes on. And I normally don't get angry, but this game is making me angry, and I'm like, oh my god, my nostalgia is just the anger that I felt when I played this game back in the day.
Yeah.
Sonny and I, we were both pissed. We actually had to mute it, and because when we were younger, we didn't ever listen to the soundtrack to it. At that point in time, we were listening to we had two CD trays, and so we would play the game on the top one, and this was on our computer, and then in the bottom tray we would play a CD. Yeah, so at the time Samantha Mumble was big, so we played that, and then NSYNC was big, so we played that, and so we had to recreate the old soundtrack to make it to where we could actually play the game a little better because we were just getting so pissed off. And we played a little bit better once we changed the soundtrack up. But after we got to the fifth world, I think we both ran out of lives and got the damn continue. And we're like, you know what?
It's unforgiving because you're stuck in a world and you can't just quit and save. It's like high school. You have to beat a series of levels before you can go back to the main world and then find a save point.
Yeah, and in retrospect,
these were fucking hard back then.
Yeah, in retrospect, there really wasn't anything better, I guess, at that point in time when it first came out, so we had nothing to compare it to, but holy shit, it's terrible! Sorry, I just hit my microphone. It's terrible!
It's terrible!
I'm
that terrible that Dark gets very, very crazy about it.
Dramatic.
It's very pretty. Like the video game itself, especially for the time, the graphics are really nice looking, but it's so fucking hard and so unforgivable. There's so many times that because it tries to merge platforming with its regular style of play. So if you bump a character, you don't instantly die like Mario, but you get knocked backwards. But when you have these tiny little platforms you have to land on, and there's enemies on them that when you hit them, it knocks you backwards, you can't plan your jumps because, they turn around, they bump you, and then you get knocked off the platform. You're like, motherfucker, I
and then you
that perfectly. Yeah,
dude, that is something that happened to me about 6 times in a row in the video.
Yeah.
It's just, I kept trying to land on one platform, and I just kept getting murdered.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm wondering, like, are you going to continue that Let's Play, or are you just gonna quit while you're ahead?
No, I'm gonna be filming the Musicland episode probably tomorrow or Friday.
Are you sure?
That video will probably be out on Sunday.
Are you sure that's a good idea, Tjin? And you won't just lose your
why?
head?
No, I'm gonna throw a fit. It'll be funny. It's all for funny.
I was unable to get all the way through Musicland. I was absolutely unable to get through Musicland, so I hope the forces.
How something with a happy term like Musicland is just a source of rage.
It's like
it has these little like terrain that are a bunch of like angry looking music notes that just stare at you. Some of them shoot lightning bolts at you, and you're just like you can't avoid them.
Yeah, not only are the music notes angry, but they also the tops of them are actually sharp little spikes. They're rainbow colored and pretty looking, but they have these sharp little spikes. If you land on the music notes, they impale you, and you see him grab his butt and jump up, and like a very G-rated impaling. But it's instant death. And yeah, so you have the spikes that you can't touch. Then you have the enemies that knock you off the little platforms. And then you have those little lightning bolt shooting things that they aim at you. And at one section, there's 5 of them on the screen at one time, all shooting lightning at you as you're trying to go from one side to the other. And it's impossible to avoid. Like, the hell, video game! This is only like the second world. Why are you so hard already?
Video game, curse you!
It's like, this is what I would expect, like, in Bowser's Castle at the end of a Mario game, like that level of difficulty, but it's the second fucking level. Oh.
So do you think you could ever muster up the courage to actually try to beat it again?
I have no desire. That's the thing. I could, but I have no desire.
It's beating the motivation out of you.
Yes, I played it so much when I was younger. My sister and I both did because like we had nothing better to do at the time. But there's so much more stuff to do than just try and replay this video game from our childhood.
Like being confused by our video games.
Yeah, I would much rather play the new Rayman Origins game, which I downloaded that one first. And had my sister play it, and we thought, hey, this is pretty fun, but it's not as good as the first Rayman game that we got hooked to. After we played the first Rayman game, we're like, you know what? The new version is so much better than this. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. The new version is so much better.
I've never played a version after the original one.
What?
Why would you do such thing?
You're better off, because once Rayman tried to do the whole 3D thing, it did not work.
It just all looks bad. I'm just like, I just have fond memories, evil fond memories of the first game. I'm like, eh.
Yeah, it didn't work. But the new version, Rayman Origins, and then there's a new, that was on you could download it on Xbox Live. Too. And then, Legends is the newest one. It's based off of Rayman Origins. Both of those games are actually really good, and they're actually got a lot of
the art style.
acclaim. Yeah, the art style is beautiful, and it's kind of a return to form to the 2D side-scrolling thing. Yeah, it's brilliant. You should play those if you haven't.
Okay.
Maybe that'll
sounds
be
good
next.
to me.
Yeah, of course it sounds good to you. You haven't played anything, have you?
Well, I've played a few things.
I just played Child of Light and recorded that, so you should all go watch that.
I'm a little bit jealous, actually. I saw you do that, and I've wanted to play that game ever since I saw it announced. And right now,
it's really fun. It's kind of a long video. It's actually, I let my girlfriend control.
It's an hour and 15 minutes long.
Jesus.
What kind of game is it?
It's it's basically an RPG. You play as a single character, and you pick up skills. You start flying. You basically you're in like a bad dream, and you have to wake up, find your dad, and battle is turn-based, sort of more like early Final Fantasy games, like timed turn-based. But it's really fun. The music's awesome.
The whole thing, or is it like half in the dream?
We haven't gotten there yet. We'll see.
Well, the art style is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen screenshots, go ahead and watch at least part of tgjanlee's Let's Play, because it's absolutely
all of it.
Or all of it, whatever. It's an hour and 15 minutes long, though, so I'm not going to just,
I mean, it's okay. Everybody watches those freaking Achievement Hunter videos that are like 2 hours long, so, maybe.
I have a life.
Well,
yeah, I've got too much. I don't have enough time to sit there and watch a video. I've gotten to the point if I'm playing Minecraft or something, I'll listen to like a podcast or something while I'm doing something else. But I'm not going to sit there and visually watch something because I can't do anything else if I have to watch it.
It's like tonight.
If it was a computer thing, you could have it separate.
Yeah.
It's something I'm actually going to try. In an effort to finish watching Breaking Bad, while I'm doing Minecraft, I'm actually going to have Breaking Bad playing on Netflix on my phone. And I'm going to have my phone set up at the corner of my vision so that I can see it and the TV screen both at the same time.
Die at the hands of creepers every 5 minutes because you're going to be fixated on Breaking Bad.
No, I'm not actually playing Minecraft. I'm building the server world that I'm hoping to beta test this weekend, and I've got some more just it's not really set dressing, but I'm just putting in a lot of the NPCs. So it's just a lot of repetitive stuff that's not really very interesting. So I want something else to capture my attention while I'm just doing repetitive stuff on the side.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be perfect for that, because I liked Breaking Bad and I would like to spend time doing it, but I hate just doing one thing at a time. Like, I don't just want to sit there and watch Breaking Bad because I have all this other stuff I want to do, but I don't just want to do that other stuff because I have all this other stuff I want to do.
Yeah, that's a brilliancy, especially with the computer. You can literally do half and half, especially if it's a video.
Yeah, so I'm going to try doing both and see how well that goes. And if it's a success, I might make a habit of it.
So I was saying Lozelda sold us out tonight so she can go sew.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She's sewing, and she's apparently listening to us right now. So
yeah,
Lozelda,
she's in the chat, too.
I can't say anything bad about you, I guess, directly to your face because, you're helping me out so much for RTX.
No, you know what? She's
everyone
not
else
here.
can.
The rest of us get made fun of when they're not here. She's getting made fun of. So it's kind of air grievances. With,
no one gets a pass.
You start. You first. You say something about Lozelda first. Go ahead.
We still love you.
Lol Zelda. That's all I got.
All right, you fail.
Where to begin? I mean,
go ahead. Go on.
There's plenty of. I mean, to be honest, she's pretty persnickety, I guess you could say. Persnickety. It's hard to make fun of her, to be honest, because she's actually kind of nice.
Great word.
She can be a bitch sometimes, but that's like everybody, I guess.
Sometimes.
You are so lucky because the video just cut out.
There's a tendency that actually made me want to get her on this podcast to begin with.
Well, it's actually kind of funny because we all feel the same way about you, Zach.
Oh, that's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way you always show up last minute for these podcasts when you want to be on there, it's complete douchebaggy of you. I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself.
No.
He's not, really. He has no shame.
Yeah, I mean, look at that face he's making. Douchebag written all over it.
Should I actually put that right on the thing?
Change his name to douchebag.
Caption is feed.
I would prefer Captain Douchebag, actually.
Can we watermark his video?
That'll be the next thing. After we get the fucking Dinobots t-shirts, we'll get one with his face on it that says douchebag.
I made a joke about the t-shirts, okay? But realistically, that's probably not a wise thing.
The t-shirt's going to say, God damn it, Zach.
I was talking about this first with Lozelda on Twitter earlier today, but then with my friends Danny and Jacob, as I was going to the zoo with them earlier today, and they're like, if you just change the spelling of Dinobots, instead of one word, have it two words with a dash in between or something like that, that may not be trademarked, and we could be okay. Instead of one word Dinobots, it could be Dino Bots, 2 words.
True, very true.
What about a little a hash mark in between?
If that's copyrighted, then we put an asterisk or an exclamation point or some sort of letter combination so that we don't get our asses sued and we can make the t-shirt.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Or we could just do something very similar that's all, or use the kind of parody the law to get away with, at least not selling them for profit.
Well, that didn't work for the South Butt, now did it?
Well, you never know until you try.
Does anyone else know about South Butt other than me?
No, I do not.
Tell us about South Butt,
yes,
please.
Do tell.
Okay, so
North Butt.
We're all familiar with the North Face brand, correct?
West Butt.
No. So
No.
the North Face has its little swoosh logo, right?
Yes.
So the South
You mean
Butt.
Nike?
No. The South Butt had the exact same logo, but flipped around upside down. Just a direct parody. But it was created by one college kid that just created funny little slogan type clothing and sold it. Not really, just one kid, so it didn't really generate any real revenue for him or anything. But a lot of people wanted it just because it was funny. It was the South Butt with a flipped North Face logo on it, and he wound up being sued by North Face because they thought they were degrading their terms or something, some sort of bullshit. They shut him down. But I thought it was a brilliant idea. Why get North Face when you can get South Butt?
But he was making money off of it?
Yeah, he was making money off of it. Yeah, it couldn't have been a lot of money, but he was making money off of it, and that's why they were upset about it, I guess. They're like,
I don't know.
You're confusing. Your brand is confusing our consumers. I think it was their official statement on it. Like,
fair use.
Really?
That is very odd.
Which I think was really funny that someone could confuse South Butt for North Face. I mean, that was kind of they were kind of making fun of themselves with that statement itself. That your butt face, like you can confuse the two. They're so similar, right?
If anything, it's just probably to. People don't like corporations hate satirical anything because
even though it's
it
perfectly
brings
legal in form of parody, they still don't like it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's solely based off of everyone knows what they do and how shitty they are, but because they're huge and have armies of lawyers, they can laugh you out of court. It's just doesn't matter.
Well, that's strategy. That's always strategy A with big corporations. They send cease and desist, and then they threaten to basically run you into bankruptcy, your small business, by throwing you into litigation. So,
that type of bullshit.
It's bullshit. It really is. I mean, there's no other word for it but bullshit. But yeah, I mean,
part of the podcast brought to you by South Butt.
Yeah.
We're here to remember you, South Butt.
We got your back, South Butt.
If it's not
Dude, maybe we can get South Butt to advertise on the TFT.
The first sponsor.
I would be good with this.
I'd be totally cool with that too.
How do you contact?
And we need to pick a spokesperson right now. Who's the spokesperson for South Butt?
If we got a sponsorship by them or anyone, I'd be the spokesperson to come on with a message, whatever.
Because you have the Southest butt.
Exactly.
Do I?
Yeah.
I think the person who's the shortest should have the Southest butt, or the person who's in the South the most.
Wait, wouldn't that be you? Are you nominating yourself, Mr. Shorty?
No, I'm up north.
You want to be the face of South Butt?
I'm the northest butt.
Northest butt.
Who's location-wise the closest to South?
Mr. Fusion's in Texas now.
Fusion butt.
Yeah, I am.
So Mr. Fusion has the Southest butt.
And I'm an ass, so it all works out.
Exactly. It's just a perfect union.
It sells itself, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, but, it's the perfect marketing strategy.
You see these businesses that do that, like with Apple trying to copy or to trademark the letter I in front of anything, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, like sure, you might have been the first person to start doing that, but you can't trademark every single word ever made as long as it has an I.
This one really blew my mind. My wife and I do a lot of charitable work, and I always was skeptical to donate to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. My mother's a breast cancer survivor, by the way. But for some reason, that company, I don't know why, but I never felt comfortable with that organization. And then I found out a few years ago the kind of bullshit tactics they pull on other smaller charities. Like they basically are what we just talked about. They try to hamstring. They try to hamstring smaller groups that use the color pink for their cancer campaigns. The pink ribbons, they tried to sue. And for me, if it's a business, that's one thing. But when you're a charitable organization, to be throwing lawsuits on other charities, that's just bullshit.
Especially if it's for the same cause.
Exactly. They're not even keeping the money. If they're a true charity organization, then they even keep.
Well, and I think it's somewhere around. It's somewhere around only 20% of their donations actually go to research.
What?
I think something like that.
20%.
Yes. Anything below 50, just I turn the other way.
I think there's some third world countries' governments who embezzle less than that. That's just not acceptable.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that when things like this or charities or businesses become this way, they turn into this machine that only cares about profit and not what their organization was built to begin with for.
I would argue that they can't even be considered a charity at that point in time. Like, if you're spending that much of the stuff that's donated to you, like, you're not even earning it. It's donated to you.
And it's not taxed.
And it's not taxed. You can't only use 20% of the proceeds. That should be illegal.
Now, if it's a company that has like a little campaign, like buy this certain type of ice cream and proceeds go to. If it's 20% for that, that's like okay. But they were in the business to make money to begin with. They weren't a charitable organization. But when you're a charity and your overhead
just direct donations to you.
Yeah, when your overhead accounts for more than 50% of the donations, then you have a problem. Like when you're paying your boards, like I think the other one that's kind of been picked at about that is also the Salvation Army. About that like not even half of the overall donations they receive go to charitable organizations. So
that's never surprised me though. I've never really trusted the Salvation Army. One of the reasons is just because they have so many like religious affiliations.
Yeah.
Like that just has trouble written all over it.
I'll blow your mind real quick. The NFL generates $12 billion of revenue every year. They're a nonprofit.
12 million?
12 billion.
Billion.
Yeah, billion.
How the hell is NFL nonprofit?
It's been a nonprofit since its inception, and no matter how much money it makes, it's never changed status. It's still a nonprofit.
You're right. My mind is blown. I don't have an appropriate reaction for that.
Can you break it down? Like how does an organization be non-profit but still make money?
Well, they're not a publicly traded company. Okay. I don't know how it works, but I think I don't think the NBA is a nonprofit. The NHL and Major League Baseball are not nonprofits, but the NFL has always been a nonprofit, and they have the highest revenue of all the professional sports bodies at this time, $12 billion, and how it works is it used to be 60-40 went to the players. Like this whole thing when you hear about salary caps and all that, it's based off the actual revenue generation from the previous year. So if let's just as an example, last year they brought in $12 billion, then the salary cap used to be 60-40 of that total revenue went to the players, and then it got broken up amongst the 30 teams. If that makes sense. But they're a nonprofit. And being a huge football and sports fan, I find that just awful,
mind-boggling as well.
It is. I mean, that means there's tens of millions of dollars in taxes they're not having to pay.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. That's like I suppose that's second only to like the nonsense that like all the different religions that are tax-free. What was that? I saw a really interesting.
Could be a religion.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Or the Cult of Ken.
The dark 2RTX a charity, and then just keep asking for more donations even after.
Exactly.
I'm going to start a religion called the House of Wub Wave.
What about the Cult of Ken?
He's the Thread Father. He's the Thread Father.
Yeah, then you can keep.
But it just doesn't have the same ring to it, like. Cult of Wub Wave.
House of Wub. Called something.
I'm full for Cult of Ken.
What about House of?
I know Ray is too.
I like the Wub House.
The Wub House. No, that would be good.
In the middle of the street, Wub House. No.
I do love the title, Wub Father or Thread Father. I think that's good.
Okay, so Tari, I threw up the information, so I was wrong about that. But it's still not good. So 67% goes to accountability and transparency. Oh, that's no. I'm not reading
that's
no.
All right.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's interesting and all, but let's segue into something a lot more interesting. Okay, I've got something that will blow your mind if you don't know about it already.
I think we need like a little sound, like a ping that goes segue, and then we should just talk about something else.
Okay.
I think as soon as we get on a topic for longer than 10 minutes, we should do that.
I will make a segue drop.
Excellent.
Have you ever driven a Segway? Those things are fun.
Dude, let's talk about Segways.
Yeah, same.
Do you know the owner of Segway died by riding a Segway off a cliff?
That's so poetically tragic for him.
Yep.
How meta is this?
You just didn't see it coming and jump off?
He was just riding, and he
was having so much fun on a Segway.
Apparently, eyewitnesses, at the bottom of the hill, were just standing around, and this Segway hits the ground, and then some fat guy follows it.
the most epic wheelies in death.
Yeah. So. I mean, what do you do at that point? Like, if it's someone committing suicide, everyone's in shock. But if it's just some fat guy that doesn't know how to ride a fucking Segway, you just go, "Yeah."
I would laugh.
Everybody's too busy laughing.
Honestly, yeah, that would be the first thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how badly he's splattered on the ground. Like, my first reaction to saying that would be first, my jaw would drop, and the second would be I would start laughing.
Like the video of have you seen the video of the two girls fighting and one girl hits it with the shovel? Like, the first response is, man, how did she not die of brain trauma because she hit her head on the concrete after she fell? But the second thing is to laugh because of the sound of the shovel hitting her head. It makes like this hollow thunk sound, and you just can't help but laugh.
Yeah.
I want to know, why was someone just passively recording this and not like intervening somehow? Let's just watch these two chicks beat each other to death. Like, who thought that was a good idea?
That's what kids do these days, man. They would just pull out their smartphones and record each other beat the living shit out of each other. Yeah, that too.
Oh, that's just ridiculous. But anyway, I need you guys to guess for me. See if any of you are on the right pathway. So this really important thing that NASA is doing or has started funding now. This is what I wanted to mention to you guys.
Space
so NASA has no. So that's your guess. NASA's funding something really amazing, and it's not space cases. So that's your guess. Anyone else want to guess?
Space hotel.
Space hotel.
That's probably in the future, but no, that's not my news. No.
I want to say it's involving landing people somewhere. I just don't know where.
No, also wrong. You're thinking way too complex.
Okay.
NASA has.
Wait, not everybody's guessed.
There was like 3 people.
Taria, what say you?
No Googling.
I'm still singing the Space Case song in chat.
Yes. You know what I'm talking about. You didn't help me earlier. Nobody knew what I was talking about. You got to jump in there and start singing it with me.
Yeah, you got to be out. You got to be vocal.
You got to help me out here. I'm dying.
Hey, I sent you a singing theme song. What else do you want? I'm still working on the Friends one.
I want you to vocalize your support for me because everybody's like,
yeah, this girl's
a little
crazy.
support would be nice.
Okay, what are they doing? What is NASA doing, Dark?
All right. NASA has, well, it's not a lot of money, but it's the idea that counts, has given a company a $125,000 grant to build what they quote-unquote prototype food synthesizer.
What?
AKA a prototype 3D printer that prints pizza in space.
Whoa. What? That's awesome.
dude,
I want space
pizza.
I don't know, but fuck it, I don't care. This is
Food
a
molecules.
3D printer that prints pizza in space.
I want space pizza.
Wow.
Does it get any better than that? Thank you, NASA.
Just think
like
about
you're my
those
hero.
those ink prices, though.
Yeah. One's the
me see.
marinara.
Let me
Here's
see
some
if
cheese.
I can find something.
Warning, the marinara is low. Please.
That's our next shirt. Space pizza.
Space pizza.
Space pizza.
Holy
Anytime I
shit.
think, when you guys say space pizza, I just think of a pizza wearing glasses in space. It's like those big old pilot aviators. Space pizza.
Your dog's
okay.
So apparently the ink is going to be carbs, proteins, and macro and micronutrients in powder form. That they take the moisture out of it, and apparently in that form it can last for almost 30 years.
Damn.
I know exactly what they should do.
Ugh.
They need to just take all the substances, all the minerals, everything you need to live, to survive, and just take those ingredients, send them to space, and they can live off that. It's super cheap, and it stores well. Like, you just need powdered drinks with the substance materials that you need to live. That's all you need. You don't need to build space pizza, even though that sounds awesome. You don't need to build space burgers.
No, you need to stop talking. We need space pizza, okay? We need space pizza.
We need
Is-
space
is-
pizza season 3.
How many different things could they create? Is it just like all foods that they would have the recipe to, or is it just space pizza?
I think space pizza would be, or pizza in general, is easier to make molecularly, maybe?
I don't know.
I'm not.
You can't survive in space on
This is
pizza.
Obviously, it would be able to print a variety of stuff because it would be able to print a sheet, something like a sheet of dough, then the layer of quote unquote tomato. I don't know what the hell it would be, but a tomato sauce of some kind. Then you'd have the different toppings for it. So because it's pizza, you would automatically be able to print out a number of different types of food to make up one type of food, one meal, I guess. Because it's not just like printing a single apple or something like that. It's a whole bunch of different shit all thrown together. I think this is like the best thing ever. Like we're on our way to becoming like a real life Jetsons. Space pizza.
Space pizza.
Well, we just need to develop that technology where all food is in pill form, and then you just drop the little droplet water on it, and then it becomes a burger.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Honestly, what if the pizza is not like it's actually very nutritional? Like the sauce itself has multi layers of vitamins and nutrients, and then the dough is really thick for carbohydrates, and then like the pepperoni is extra protein or whatever.
Hey, that makes it even better. I'm down for it. Extra
so it'd be
awesome.
It'd be a healthier or just a meal that would be able to fill you and not cost enough, or the spaceships, whichever vehicle they're in, a whole lot of energy to produce food for the driver or whoever.
God,
the crew.
I can see the catchphrases now. Space pizza, now with extra awesome. I think it's legit.
I'm pretty sure awesome is a flavor.
Yes, it's a delicious flavor, actually.
Would it be a flavor of pizza, or would it be a topping? That
Awesome flavor is anything that tastes like French toast.
I was gonna say bacon.
It's not delivery, it's NASA.
There we go. It's not delivery, it's NASA.
It's NASA. Awesome.
Yeah, they better go with that. As long as they don't get sued by DiGiorno. Can NASA even be sued by anybody?
They probably could, just like any. I mean, if a government can be sued.
The special terms of being sued is you'd have to actually debate out in space, so they couldn't show up for the debate.
Like, sorry, NASA's too busy being in space, and we couldn't afford to go out there, so...
Help DiGiorno go to space so we can sue NASA.
Wasn't there a South Park episode
charity
like that with like the 700 Club, where they had to raise a bunch of money to build an interstellar spaceship so they could go to the alien planet and convert all the aliens or something like that? I distinctly remember something along those lines coming from South Park.
It sounds like a South Park kind of thing.
Oh! And I just remembered something else. Does anybody else play XCOM?
No.
You disappoint me, all of you.
What is that? Tell us.
So, in the game, there's an element that the aliens all run their spaceships on called they call it Illyrium 117.
It's always something Illyrium.
Because it was supposed to be, it was named after the elusive and highly theoretical element 117, which as of like 2 weeks ago is no longer theoretical. They have created element 117. By they, I mean scientists somewhere at the Giant Hadron Collider place.
That's cool.
I thought it was too unstable for them to get past that.
Nope, they got it. Is incredibly unstable. It's super heavy and it decays rapidly, but they were able to actually identify it. I guess they created
What's the last natural element?
I don't know. We have too many unnatural elements now.
Yeah, exactly.
No, there's only like eight or nine.
Anytime I see a periodic table, I've always wondered, like, what about these? Why are these elements here have quantified, like, atomic numbers and all this other shit, but they don't have, like, they don't exist? And I finally asked someone who, was a teacher. I'm not sure if I asked my dad or one of my science teachers. It was like, yeah, it's just because.
Scientist?
I guess. Anyway, they quantified it for me. They're just like, hey, yeah, we have this algorithm and we know it'll be this, but we don't know what it is. I'm like, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember I asked the same thing. And they're like, look, we know theoretically these things are possible, but they just haven't been created yet. So we're leaving these spaces here for when they are created. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just a matter of time. Gotcha.
Makes sense. And you said it decays at a rapid rate. Do you think that could be used as an energy source for or fuel for interstellar transportation?
As of right now, they don't have any practical uses for it because by decaying rapidly, we're talking about milliseconds. It decays very rapidly. So I don't know. I suppose if you were able to, for a single instance, capture the type of energy that's reduced to it as it goes through its half-life, that maybe that would produce a lot of energy, but as of right now, it's useless.
According to Low Zelda, uranium is the last naturally occurring element.
Yes,
uranium. Thank you, Low Zelda. You're not with us in voice, but you're with us in spirit.
She's very mad that she's not on the podcast now.
Spirit.
You know what? It was her choice to skip out on this podcast because she had
She's
to
like,
go
you're talking about science?
Shit.
Yeah, we're finally getting into science now. She's all alone.
She really wanted to talk about the space pizza. I think she's eating pizza
we
now.
should now just keep making up science facts that are not true, but just to mess with her.
Exactly.
Oh, and I was talking with her earlier today on Twitter, and she also wanted to talk about a picture that I tweeted. I saw a sign on my way back from the zoo. It was like Bad Dicks. The company was called Bad Dicks.
Bad Dicks or Bat Dicks?
Bad Dicks. Like evil dicks.
Yeah, it was weird. And she was like, "What's the story with that place?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not gonna go there."
I'm sure they're pronounced Baddicks, but
nope, it's Bad Dicks.
Bad Dicks.
Did you
no,
venture into the rabbit hole?
I'm sorry. I just had to look this up. It's not Bad Dicks. It's Bad Cock. BADCOCK.
Bad Cock. Oh, I know the company. Bad Cock.
Okay.
And it's the Andor that got me.
That reminds me. There's a pool company around the corner from my office.
So billiards pool or swimming pool?
Swimming pools. They spell it. Okay, the company's name is Pool Life. Okay, so they spell it with one word and only one L. So
What?
it's POOLIFE.
Poo.
I have time because I'm like, that's Poo Life.
Poo Life.
That's not Pool Life. That's Poo Life.
He called the shit poop.
Yeah. So every time I drive by that sign, I
the
laugh.
pool? Call Poo Life.
Poo Life.
Yeah.
Poo Life.
They specialize in cleaning the poo, taking out the chocolate bars.
Oh, I just recently saw a commercial one of my friends showed me online. I don't remember what store it was advertising, but the catchphrase was "shit my pants."
Oh, ship my pants. It's Kmart.
I just shit my pants.
Yeah, I just shit my pants.
That's my favorite commercial.
Yeah, they don't enunciate the P.
Yeah.
They just let it sound like shit instead of ship. And
I just shit my bed.
I'm like, did this actually air in America? Because
Yes,
this
it
is
did.
too awesome. I can't believe this actually aired in America.
I'm going to say that aired at not this past Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl before that, so 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Why did I just see this earlier this week? I just saw this earlier this weekend. Like, why? That was so clever.
Yeah.
That is funny.
And then the old man at the end, like, I just shipped my bed. He's sitting there.
Like, yes, you did.
Yep, sorry, son, had to happen.
Yeah, right on cue. There's Zelda in the chat. She's in correction mode right now.
Yeah, she is.
You know what that means? That means
Did I say
she's
something wrong?
No, she's just yearning to be on the podcast. That's all.
You know what, bitch? I said you could do your sewing thing and you could be on the podcast. You're like, no, the sewing machine makes too much noise. I'm like, fine, you win this round.
You know what? Some
Tg janlee
of us
makes
need
too
to
much noise.
That's
She's
what
on the
you mean,
podcast.
Mike, except for when you need to talk.
That's true. That's absolutely true. So you've got no one to blame but yourself, Lozelle.
Yep.
Think about what you did.
Yep.
Think about what you've done. Left us without a scientist to talk about science things.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys got into all those comic book conversations when I was off the podcast, and I'm just like, no, you're wrong. Why aren't I on this podcast right now?
Speaking of, okay, I want to know why. Okay, because you posted a journal on Rooster Teeth about this. 3 favorite X-Men.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you said Cyclops was one of your 3, right?
Yes, correct.
And Beast, correct?
Yes.
And who was the third one?
Kitty Pryde.
I don't like Cyclops.
Kitty Pryde, okay.
Yes.
What?
I'm okay with Kitty Pryde. I just
Also
think
known as Shadowcat.
Shadowcat, Sprite. She's had like 20 different character names.
What's her dragon's name?
Let's Lockheed.
I love that guy.
Lockheed.
Yeah. She had a little dragon.
Do you know he is actually an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Is he now?
Wow.
No, an agent of S.W.O.R.D. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Oh, yes. Green-haired lady.
Yes, he's an agent of S.W.O.R.D. You find that out during Whedon's run of Astonishing X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Cyclops is a very underrated character.
Absolutely.
So.
People, the only impression people get of Cyclops is from the movies, and he was a dick in the movies.
No,
he was
a little pussy in the movies.
Yeah, he was a bit of a pussy.
Big pussy.
His character was so much more interesting in the I don't follow the comics, but he was so much more interesting in the cartoons.
Absolutely.
In
the comic, in the comic, he's pretty much become the next Magneto.
I love
Yes,
Magneto.
right now he's got a kind of
Right now, he is like an anti-hero and somewhat villain that they think is responsible for killing Professor X. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, like everything he fought for in the past 6 or 7 years, the Utopia, the Underground X-Force, so many things with him and being involved. I really liked where they were going with the character, and then with Avengers versus X-Men last year, where he just becomes a total asshole and just a monster of a person. It kind of ruined it for me.
I think he was poorly written in that story.
Yeah. Well, I thought Avengers versus X-Men was just poorly written. Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the premise itself, Avengers versus X-Men, like they both like fight for the same things. The fact that they would be against each other is kind of an oxymoron to begin.
Well, it's kind of like the same premise as Civil War.
If you read comic books, anything that says versus means at some point they're going to team
dollar
up.
signs.
Yeah, it's dollar signs, but at some point, in the beginning, they're going to fight, and then after that, they're going to team up. That's how it always works.
Every single time.
Every single time.
DC just did a similar thing. They had this thing called Trinity War, and it was just like everybody's fighting each other, but like, okay, by the end, there's one common enemy, and they all join sides. Like, no shit.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, but what happens after you beat the enemy? Then you go back to beating the
A
shit
new
out of
enemy
each other.
appears.
And yes, Taria, X-Men Evolution was a damn good show.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I didn't actually get to watch X-Men Evolution.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I need to
Watch it right now while you're doing your mind moves again.
I want
you're on the
Nightcrawler.
to get through Breaking Bad first, so I can get started on Game of Thrones. Ugh.
I
Go.
wish I could poof.
You will
You wish you could poof.
You will be physically exhausted if you watch Breaking Bad and then Game of Thrones.
You'll be drained. I
Yeah,
promise
that's just exhausting, man. It really is.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Is challenge accepted at that point?
Yeah. Hey, tgjanlee, have you seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I've watched a few episodes. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and then I watched the ones that tied directly into Captain America.
Okay, you really need to watch it. It's it starts off really slow because these are actors you really don't know about, and then the characters too. But by the end of the season and the season finale, it's really good.
It just
Did
starts
it
to
get renewed
develop.
for a second season?
Yeah, and
Well, they got
that was
Bill
the biggest,
Paxton in it now.
Yeah, well, the biggest complaint was you have no-name actors. You're not going to have every single Marvel superhero in it at all times. They're referenced throughout the season, which makes sense because this is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You don't have the movie budget.
Yes, they don't have the budget, so the special effects aren't what you see on film. But the main thing is, by the middle of the season, the characters that the problem is that no one knows who they are, and the only one you know is Coulson. So you're like, okay, Coulson, yay! But by the middle of the season, you find yourself getting real engrossed into the characters. I'm not kidding. Like, you really start buying into the characters and their personalities and stuff. And by the end of the season, it's really good.
I like the
I
pilot.
love TV shows that actually are good enough to get you emotionally invested in the characters themselves. That's something a lot of TV shows actually fail to do. a lot of times, at least with me.
The problem is that they take wait. This is pretty much just the entire season was an origin season of this whole SHIELD team, and they surrounded their origins with mystery, which I get, but they kept drawing out the mystery for too long. And so I think that's why there were a lot of complaints about, just this show's not very good. And it's not bad.
We trust.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the first time something like this, I think, anyway, don't quote me on that because I'm not a history buff, but I think this is the first time something like this has actually been attempted, where you're creating a TV series that's based in the movie universe, but is completely separate. Like, it ties in, but it's its
Stargate
own thing completely.
No, but it's not concurrent, though. That's the thing. Stargate wasn't concurrent.
Question.
When
Ray, why do you keep shaking your head like you're
America
having a
came out
seizure?
the next week, there was an episode related to that. So, what was your question?
Who's it written by? Who's it directed by and produced by the SHIELD agent show?
It's produced by Josh Whedon.
I thought so. I'll have to check that out because I love all of Whedon's work. To be honest, he's fucking awesome. Well, okay. Besides Buffy, I like Angel.
Wait. Buffy's the one you choose not to like. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you? What?
Fight.
What?
Listen.
Right.
You have Dollhouse. They can just go, but you choose Buffy as the one you don't like. We can't be friends.
I don't know.
We can't be friends. I would understand maybe Angel, but not Buffy.
Yeah, I can understand Angel.
I can't. I don't know. I'm normally very tolerant of people's interests and what they dislike, but you cannot say that's. I'm done.
I would say I have to agree with you, tgjanlee. I'm not even a big fan of Buffy. I thought it was over the top and ridiculous, but I can respect it for what it was, and it's and where it stands in pop culture. I'm siding with you, tgjanlee. Jeez,
He's very bad right now, isn't he?
It's too late. You've already been targeted in the sniper scope.
We just found out where he's sensitive, man. He's sensitive.
Shots fired.
Right in the
do
buff.
not talk bad about Buffy in front of tgjanlee. He will have a conniption.
I don't know.
And to answer your question, Jed Whedon, his brother, wrote a majority of the episodes.
That's cool.
But there's maybe 10 different writers, but and directors. The primary writer was Jed, and Joss had his hand in it. Basically, when they first started this season, they knew exactly where it was going to go from beginning to end, and the tie-ins to the movies, to both Thor and Captain America. And I think they did a real good job with transitioning back and forth from the movies. And then the season finale last night was really good, even though there are some people out there that are trying to point at all the plot holes. And you know what? A show like this, what it's doing, there's going to be plot holes. It's inevitable. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he did a really great job with the Avengers. He did a fantastic job with Firefly. I mean, I'm sure these are really mainstream stuff when it comes to his work, and that's the stuff I like. Whatever.
When I was talking with a coworker about this yesterday, the best thing about this show is there are Marvel Universe characters and organizations and stuff in the series that are more secondary in the comics and just in the overall Marvel Universe. So they're not relying primarily on your big, your Thor, your Captain America, your Iron Man constantly,
which is cool.
Yeah, they're just showing that there's other things out there in this world which
they're expanding the universe.
Well, the great thing about it is it helps for future movies. This is my theory. My theory is that Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the biggest thing I'm waiting for this year.
Damn straight.
I'm super excited about
It's going to tie into the first episode of SHIELD season 2. You watch.
That's cool.
That's my theory.
I think that's a good theory.
So, and yes, I'm just freakishly excited for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think it's going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I already know. I'm
X-Men's next week, right?
Yes.
Really? Yes.
Oh yeah.
I am crazy excited for that movie.
Really?
I'm torn. I just hit my microphone again.
I think I know why you're excited, tgjanlee. I'm going to take a wild guess.
Cyclops?
Why is that?
Cyclops is coming back.
Wait, no, I didn't know that.
No, I'm not saying it's confirmed, but that's what I was
lying to me.
Don't lie to me, bro.
The whole point of this movie is to retcon The Last Stand. That was the whole point of it. was to undo
Just
the third
pretend
X-Men.
it never happened, right?
I thought
Well,
that's
to
what they
undo
did
the
with the
third
last X-Men movie with First Class. They kind of just several of the things in First Class kind of like went against things that happened in Last Stand.
Well,
so it's
yeah,
like,
because if you really go based on the years, Cyclops and his brother Havoc are actually 40 years apart.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make
Which
any
makes no
sense.
So that's probably why they're
Is he
redoing
referred
all that.
to Summers in the First Class?
What's that?
Is he referred to as
Yeah,
Summers?
Alex Summers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question:
That was great. So
Is Havoc was younger than Cyclops, right?
In the comics, he is. Yes.
Okay, see
He's
that's
younger brother.
that's where I got the confusion because I'm a comic. When it comes to the comics, that's sort of where I base most of my knowledge off of because that was like I didn't get Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat. I got X-Men and Avengers and Spider-Man
Yeah.
because that's how my dad rolled.
Now,
when
in
it
the
comes
TV
to
show X-Men Evolution, he's older.
Yeah.
Havoc
Yeah.
is older than Cyclops in the cartoon. So yes, but so that's one thing. The other thing that I'm kind of wondering how they're going to do is in the Singer X-Men, Bolivar Trask, who designed the Sentinels in the comic books. He's this big 300-pound black guy, and in this new movie, it's Peter Dinklage.
Interesting.
So I wonder how they're going to fix that. But yes.
I mean, just that doesn't need fixing. It's just how it's written.
Yeah, whatever. Basically,
I'm sure
like
even his stature won't have much to do with it.
The whole point of this movie is to tie in the old franchise to the new franchise, and actually, we're probably going to get a Gambit out of this too, because apparently,
Channing Tatum
this time around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually never liked Gambit.
Oh,
Really?
I was never a Gambit.
Occasionally, you and I can't be friends now. So
Say it again.
Oh.
sorry.
Say it again.
For me,
I didn't even hear it.
can you not
He said
like
you're not friends with him anymore because you don't think.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You always annoyed me.
I liked him. He had
You
the
know what pisses me
clichéness
off
about
so
him
much
that I
about
enjoyed.
the
Well,
live action?
he and Cable are the epitome of '90s culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, this could be my nostalgia talking, but I just love the thing that he and Rogue
Are you a
had
Rob Liefeld fan?
I hate
What?
Field with all those damn pouches.
I have no idea what
He
you're
did
talking
create
about now.
Deadpool though, so
He created the man boobs, the man boob cover.
the man boob cover and all the pouches and the tiny feet. Rob Liefeld's an artist that he was made fun of. He was a big time '90s artist, and
Can't draw.
he would draw like giant pecs on the superheroes and giant guns that were physically impossible to carry around, and pouches. They had fucking pouches.
You know what's a real
That's
shame?
for
He is
demonstrating.
joked about all the time, but he's like a super duper nice guy in real life, and he just like rolls with it. And
He just likes
everybody loves
pouches.
him personally.
Unlike
His
Chuck
art
Austin,
is
who's
just
a total asshole. From what I
not great.
yeah.
All right.
Well,
Now,
yeah,
you
Not
guys,
that I
you
can do
can't
better.
You can't see this in the chat right now, but I think this needs to be said. We were talking about before we're off topic already, off of it, but we were talking about Angel earlier, and with the main character there, David. I don't know how to say his last name.
Borean, I think.
David Boreanaz.
Boreal.
I brought him out.
Brandis.
Yeah, and
Angel.
Taria was talking about she respects Angel for David Boreal because screen time let him become Booth in Bones, and
David
that just
Love
Boreanaz.
that just warmed
Hot.
my heart on the inside because I absolutely love that TV show. I love Bones.
Oh, I
And
love it.
Bones.
I didn't know
like
that.
it.
I had no idea that tgjanlee and Taria were both fans of this show, so I just needed to bring
good show.
that out. Like, yes, the people that love this show with me.
Oh,
I haven't watched the last season, but I'd seen everything else up to that.
So do you not hate me anymore?
I like a lot
I
of the
hate
first
you
few
less.
seasons.
He loves you medium.
That's one of those shows that I think that continues to
It's a
get
love-hate
better
relationship.
as it gets older. Because like the characters are constantly changing and adapting to one another, and they'll bring in a new character, and some of the old characters will leave, so it doesn't ever really stagnate to me. They managed to keep it interesting.
Even as they got together, it didn't tire. They got her happy, but there's also tension. So
I don't know. I feel like
and it's quirky.
and it's
much like
funny.
a lot of I love the humor, I love the action, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that are great about Bones, but I still feel like I love all of the episodes I've seen, even in the later seasons. I don't agree with the whole stagnant thing. They're still rehashing a lot of the same things. And to be fair, how could you not? It's a murder mystery TV series. Eventually, some stuff is going to be reused, but at the same time, that's, I guess, my opinion.
If you haven't watched the season, the series from beginning to end,
I have.
Yeah.
Basically,
I was gonna say, yeah, because the murder mystery thing is just kind of the secondary story. What you're supposed to watch the show for is the character relationships and the story arcs that they're going through. Like what they're doing is just kind of the sidelines. Like, oh, this is what we're doing today. But the real meat of the story is what's happening between the characters and the relationships that they're having. And that's really why I watch. The murder mystery solving thing is not really boring to me, I guess. It's always interesting because I'm trying to figure out, okay, who done it, and sometimes I'm wrong. Yeah. But I really watch the show for the characters. I want to see what's going to happen to them. I'm emotionally invested in them.
Definitely.
And, I'm really impressed that they've kept me interested in these characters for as long as they have. Like I feel kind of like a sucker
for this show.
Yeah,
Vincent Nigel Murray.
Oh, don't bring that up. No.
Nigel Thornberry.
We are the wild Thornberries.
Segway.
All right, guys. We are at an hour and 15 minutes, and something with Nigel Thornberry, I think, kind of killed the conversation. So we should wrap this thing up. tgjanlee, do you want to do the spiel? I know you do.
He's just going to make it awkward.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the forum thread. Like us on the Facebook. Just go to all your social media sites and look for the forum thread. We're glorious and we're everywhere. Especially on YouTube, where you should watch some of our latest videos. I'm not pimping out my stuff right now. Go watch some of our new Let's Play videos.
I would like to say something about that real quick. I appreciate all the work Webwave and yourself you've done in throwing up additional content. That's really, not all of us can do that, but you guys have thrown up lots of Let's Plays, and it's thumbs up to you too.
Oh yeah, certainly.
And don't forget to
applause, but clapping sounds weird through a microphone.
Yeah, it does. Exactly.
Just add the sound effect later, Fusion.
I will.
Cue the sound effect here. And another thing is, if you ever want to, listen to these guys mobile, definitely check them out on SoundCloud. They're awesome.
Yes, yeah, you're the one that got us to get a SoundCloud account. Wasn't that you I was talking with?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep. And you're the whole reason we have a SoundCloud account. Oh.
Oh.
That was the angelic choir. Yeah.
And if you like aprons, go watch Lozelda's apron making videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she's not on the podcast tonight, because she's making shit, sewing shit, and not being on the podcast and shit. So go watch her.
In the middle of her video, she begged to correct us on the podcast.
If she did that, that would be awesome.
She couldn't wait to correct us, but she wouldn't appear.
She's in the chat. I'm like, you got it wrong, dipshit.
That totally makes sense. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Connects all the lines.
All right.
So with that, guys, we will see you again, same time next week. Maybe actually on time, not 2 minutes late. But who's counting? Right. It's absolutely
right.
Matters.
The 100 and what is that? 160, 80 seconds, whatever.